Hey everybody, happy Friday. It's June 12th. Hope you had a great week and I hope you're teed up for a great weekend. As promised, wanted to share some thoughts about contract manufacturing. A few things to consider, 5 things to consider. This is not all inclusive, but a few things as you are going down your journey of startup food and beverage. So the first thing you want to look for in a contract manufacturer is someone that has the capabilities for your product. And that doesn't just mean that they have the right equipment. Do they have the expertise together with that equipment to make your item, whatever that item is? I mean, there's the obvious. If you want to make a beverage and the company that you're speaking to makes snacks, that's just not a right fit, obviously. But you do want to see, do they have the expertise to make your type of beverage or your type of snack? And do they have the equipment in conjunction with that to make the package you want? A 6-pack, a 12-pack, or what have you. So that's one thing you always want to think about in regards to a contract manufacturer is their capabilities. The other thing to know and understand with these contract manufacturers are what type of business model do they have? Are they a turnkey manufacturer or are they a tolling manufacturer? Really quickly, turnkey is exactly what it sounds like. You give them your recipe with confidentiality, of course, make sure. But you give them your recipe and they source everything for you. They source all of your ingredients, all of your packaging, and they just give you a finished price at the end. Typically, however, this is much more expensive because they're using all of their people to do the sourcing for your ingredients and all of your packaging. So because of that and because they're spending their money, they typically mark it up anywhere between 20 and 40% on average. That sometimes is attractive because early in, you may not be able to do all the sourcing or know how to do that. So something to consider. But a tolling arrangement is the opposite. Tolling is where the contract manufacturer only charges you for the labor overhead of their building to convert your recipe into a finished product. But that means you need to buy all of the items and ship it in to them. So there's pluses and minuses to each, but those other thing to think about when you're looking at a co-man. By the way, if there's questions that someone has about this along the way, you want to dive a little deeper, by all means, just shoot me an email, john@armaturaco.com. Next thing I would say is the proximity to your customer. For a few reasons, you want to be close to your customer if you can. One is cost of freight, and two is the time to get the freight there. If you have a lead time of 6 days because you have to ship it from San Diego to New York, well, aside from the cost, you now need to wait an extra 6 days to get it through the manufacturing process on the truck all the way across to your customer or your client. So you want to take a look at what their proximity is to your customer. If there's something that's so unique that there's only one place that makes it in the country, you don't have really a choice. It is what it is. But something to consider as well. Other thing you want to take a look at with Co-Man is their certifications. Mostly here we're dealing with food and beverage, so are they an FDA registered facility? You want to see that documentation. You want to see that they have a HACCP plan. You want to see that they have the certifications for the product you produce. Maybe it's gluten-free, kosher, organic, etc. Not every contract manufacturer has all of those things. Another thing is quality. You're making your amazing recipe of whatever it is, your beverage, your snack, your whatever it is. You know what it should be, the weight, the color, the taste, the flavor. You have to define that specification for the contract manufacturer. And while that is something that is yours, what you want to know is that contract manufacturer has the tools, has the expertise to be able to measure over and over as they're producing the quality of your product, so you get a consistent, safe to consume product for your customers all the time. The last thing to think about is minimum order quantity, or MOQ. MOQ is important because it's about cash and it's about product going bad or not going bad, meaning if you sell on average, and you should know your sales velocities going into this, if you sell on average 10,000 units a month and you find a contract manufacturer that the minimum order quantity is 120,000 units, that means one production run is going to be 12 months worth of inventory for you. So besides it being working capital laid up that you can't use for sales and marketing, you now have all this product sitting there it's going to take you 12 months to sell. And if you have a shelf life of 6 months, well, that doesn't work. Even if you have a shelf life of 12 months, that also doesn't work, because you typically need to guarantee 60 to 75% of the shelf life of your product when it arrives at your customer, aka retailer. So those are the 5 things that come to mind. It's not all inclusive. Like I said, I'm happy to answer more questions if anybody wants to get into it. Just shoot me an email, john@armaturaco.com. But it's capabilities, the type of co-man, turnkey versus tolling, proximity to your customer, certifications, ability to measure quality, together with MOQ. It's really 6 things. So hope that was helpful. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Be well.